ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। कठोपनिषद अध्याय 1 वल्ली 3 मंत्र 14। उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत। क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया दुर्गं पथस्तत् कवयो वदन्ति। We have seen the bhashya of the Purvardha. Now let's look into the bhashya of the Uttarardha. किमिव सूक्ष्मबुद्धिरित्युच्यते। किमिव सूक्ष्मबुद्धिः। The first line, Uttishtata Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhata. The Shruti is asking a mumukshu not to ignore the pursuit of Atmajnana. Nahi upekshitavyam. One should not be indifferent to the pursuit of Atmajnana. Why the Shruti is saying so? Because atisukshma buddhi vishayatvad jneyasya. The Atma Tattva is available to very subtle understanding. To get the subtle understanding, one has to make effort. Therefore, the Shruti is asking a mumukshu to make special effort. Now, the second half is explaining how subtle the Atma Tattva is and how difficult it is to know because of the subtleness of Atma Tattva. Kim iva sukshma buddhihi. the Sukshma Buddhi, the subtle understanding, dealing with the Atma. Being subtle, it is difficult to get. Like what? One might ask an example. Iti uchyate. An example is given. Kshurasya dhara agram nishita तीक्ष्णीकृता दुरत्यया दुःखेन अत्ययः यस्याह सा दुरत्यया यथा सा पद्भ्यां दुर्गमनीया तथा दुर्गम दुस्संपाद्यम इत्येतत् पथः पंथानं तत्त्वज्ञानलक्षणं मार्गं कवयः मेधाविनः वदन्ति ज्ञेयस्य अतिसूक्ष्मत्वात् तद्विषयस्य ज्ञानमार्गस्य दुस्संपाद्यत्वं वदन्ति इत्यभिप्रायः। किम इव सूक्ष्मबुद्धिः इति उच्यते। क्षुरस्य धारा, धारा is equal to agram, edge. Edge of a kshura, a sword or a razor. Nishita, it is nishita. Nishita is equal to tikshnikrita, sharpened. It is duratyaya. Dukkhena atyayaha yasyaha sa duratyaya. The Vigrahavakya of duratyaya. Dukkhena atyayaha yasyaha sa. Walking through it is difficult. Atyayaha means walking through. Is dukkhena, with the difficulty. Therefore, it is called duratyaya. Yathasa padbhyam durgamaniya. Duratyaya means padbhyam durgamaniya. Difficult to walk through with the feet. Padbhyam. Tatha, similarly, durgam, tat pathaha durgam. The path, the pursuit of Atmajnana is also durgam. Durgam is equal to dussampadyam ityetat. Difficult to accomplish. Pathaha. Pathaha is equal to panthanam. Dvitiya vibhakti. Because it is the object of vadanti. Panthanam durgam vadanti. And what is that pantha? Tattvajnana lakshanam margam. The marga, the pursuit, the path of tattvajnana, of self-knowledge, the knowledge of truth. It is difficult to accomplish. Who say this? Kavayaha. Kavayaha is equal to Medhavinaha, the wise men who are aware of the difficulties of Atmajnana. They say this. And Bhashyakara gives the purport of this line. Jneyasya atisukshmatvat. Since Jneya, the Atma Tattva, the subject matter of Atmajnana, it is atisukshma, it is very subtle. Therefore, tadvishayasya jnanamargasya, the jnana marga, the pursuit of knowledge, dealing with Atmajnana, it is dussampadyam, it is difficult to accomplish. Dussampadyatvam vadanti. The wise men describe the dussampadyatva, how difficult it is to accomplish. Ityabhiprayaha. This is the purport of second line, second half of the mantra. Since it is difficult to accomplish, one has to make special effort to attain Atmajnana. Mantra 15. Ashabdamasparshamaropamavyayam tatharasam nityamagandhavachayat anadyanantam mahatah parandhruvam nichayatan mrityumukhat pramuchyate. Now the Shruti is describing how subtle the Atma Tattva is. The subtleness of Atma Tattva is because it is free from all attributes, free from gunas. Ashabdam, free from Shabda guna. Asparsham, free from sparsha. Ashabdam, no Shabda in Brahman. Some people, after meditation, they come and say, Swamiji, I heard a sound in my heart. Is it Brahman? It is not Brahman. Brahman does not have sound. Then what is the sound that you hear? Sometimes when in the stomach, sometimes there can be sound in the stomach. So it has nothing to do with the Brahman. And sometimes when people meditate, they can hear some special sound also. It is a mystical experience. I am not saying it is not possible. But it is just an incidental experience that happens when you focus on any spiritual theme. In a way, it is an indication that you are progressing in your focus. Some people may get it, some people may not get it. It's not that you have to get such experience. But if you get, it is okay. But don't think you have attained realization. It is not so. Even if such experiences are there, one has to continue one's sadhana. Don't hold on to such experiences. And don't even seek such experiences. The Yoga Shastra describes the possibility of such experiences. Sometimes you hear a special sound inside yourself. Sometimes you can get a smell also, a fragrance. Some people report such things. But don't go and proclaim. Today morning when I was meditating, I got a good fragrance, I saw a light. All these things should not be told to others. One's spiritual experiences, one should not discuss with others except with one's guru for guidance, that's all. So, ashabdam asparsham, no sparsha, no touch, free from touch. Whether Brahman is hot or cold, soft or hard, you cannot say. No sparsha. Arupam, no rupa. Rupa rahita, no color and no form also. Avyayam, avyaya, no changes, free from modifications. Tatha arasam, and arasam, no taste, free from taste. They talk about 6 rasas, Shad rasa. Brahman is free from all 6 rasas. Madhura, sweet, amla, sour, and tikta, bitter, and katu. Katu means, spicy. What's it called? What is the taste called? Yeah. Kashaya, astringent. And lavana, salt. So, all these tastes. Six rasas. In a healthy meal, there should be all 6 rasas. All 6. A little of bitter taste also should be there. Bitter gourd. Once in a while, it's fine. But Brahman does not have any of the six rasas. Arasam, agandha, nityam. It is nityam, eternal. Agandhavachayat, it is agandhavat. It does not have gandha. Anadyanantam, it is anadi and ananta. No beginning and no end. Mahatah param, it transcends Mahat, transcends Hiranyagarbha. Dhruvam, Dhruvam means Kutastha. Already Nityam is mentioned. Nityam can be two types. One is Parinami Nitya. It is Nitya in itself, but it undergoes changes. Like water. Water is Nitya in a way, up to a certain extent. But it will undergo changes. Sometimes it will become ice. Sometimes it will become steam. Sometimes it will become muddy. So there is parinama in water. Yet it is Nitya to a certain extent, not absolute. So one might think when Brahman is Nitya, it is Parinami Nitya. To negate Parinami Nityatva, Shruti uses another word also, Dhruvam. Dhruvam means Kutastha Nitya. Kutastham ityarthaha. No changes whatsoever. Nichaya tat, understanding that Brahman, Atma Tattva, Mrityu Mukhat Pramuchyate, one becomes free from the mouth of death, the jaws of death, means samsara. Mrityu Mukhat Pramuchyate, one becomes free from samsara. Now we will go through the sambandha for this mantra. Tat katham atisukshmatvam ज्ञेयस्य इति उच्यते. ज्ञेयस्य अतिसूक्ष्मत्वं कथम. तत् अतिसूक्ष्मत्वं, the atisukshmatva which is mentioned in the previous mantra. Atisukshmatva of the jnaya, of the subject matter of Atmajnana, which is nothing but Brahman. Katham, how atisukshmatva, how Brahman is very subtle. Bhashyakara explains what makes something sthula. To understand sukshmatva, we should understand what makes something sthula. Gross. What is called gross? Sthula tavadiyam medini Shabdasparsha Ruparasa Gandhopachita Sarvendriya Vishayabhuta Tatha Shariram. As I had mentioned a few days earlier, sthulatva is a measure of perceivability of a given object. How far an object is perceivable, objectifiable, it is the measure of sthulatva, the degree of sthulatva, grossness of a given object. If the object is more perceivable, it is sthula, more objectifiable, it is sthula. If the object is less perceivable, it is sukshma. Now, the earth, Prithvi, has all 5 gunas: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. Since it has all 5 gunas, it is perceivable to all 5 indriyas. Therefore, it is sthula, most sthula among the 5 elements. Now, in the other elements, from Prithvi, let's go to Jala. It has only 4 gunas: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. It does not have Gandha. Since it has 4 gunas, it is available for 4 indriyas. The degree of perceivability has reduced. The degree of objectifiability has reduced by 1 indriya. Therefore, relatively sukshma. Compared to Prithvi, Jala is sukshma, because only 4 indriyas can perceive, not 5. Likewise, if you go to Agni, even less sthula and more sukshma. Likewise, Vayu, more sukshma, and Akasha, even more sukshma. Then when you come to Brahman, Brahman does not have any gunas, nirguna. Therefore, ati sukshma, nirgunatvat ati sukshmatvam. So, sthula tavadiyam medini. Tavat means firstly. To consider at first. Iyam medini. This earth is sthula, is gross. And what makes it gross? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandhopachita. Because it is endowed with 5 qualities, 5 gunas: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. And therefore, Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta, it is objectified by all 5 senses. It is perceived by all 5 senses as object. That is why it is sthula. Tatha shariram, likewise this sharira also. This sharira, sthula sharira, it is made of earth. It is parthiva sharira. Our body is called parthiva sharira. It is made of earth. Therefore, it has all 5 qualities, and it is available for all 5 senses. we can see, we can hear. The body has sound also. So many types of sound the body makes. Shabda. Sparsha is anyway there. Rupa, it has a rupa, color, form. Rasa, the body has taste also. That is why the tiger eats the body. Once it gets the taste of a human body, it becomes a man-eater. Generally, a tiger does not eat a human being. But suppose it is very hungry and a human being comes in front of it, no other prey, then it will eat a human being. But once it eats a human being, then it gets the taste. Then it becomes a man-eater. So body has taste because tiger eats, mosquito bites, dogs lick, dogs and cows, they lick the body. Why? Because it is tasty. So it has a taste also. Rasa is also there. And Gandha is also there. It has an odor. Body has its smell. And sometimes we camouflage the smell with some perfumes, etc. So body has all 5 gunas. Just like Prithvi. Therefore, this body is also Sthula Sharira. Tatra Ekaika Gunapakarshena Gandhadinam Sukshmatva Mahatva Vishuddhatva Nityatvaditaratamyam Drishtam Abadishu Yavadakasham Tatra, there, among the 5 elements. Tatra means Teshu, Panchabhuteshu Madhye. Ekaika Gunapakarshena, by reducing each one quality in each. Ekaika Guna Apakarshena, with the reduction of one quality in each. Gandhadinam, among Gandha, etc. Gandhadinam madhye, ekaika gunapakarshena. Among Gandha, Rasa, Rupa, Sparsha and Shabda, you go on reducing one quality in each subsequent level. Like in Jala, you give up Gandha. In Agni, you give up Rasa also. Like that, you go on reducing one quality in each of the subsequent element. Sukshmatva Taratamyam Drishtam Abadishu. abadishu, in water, etc. Yavad akasham, up to akasha. Taratamyam drashtam, there is a taratamya, an increasing, an ascending degree of sukshmatva, etc. Taratamya in what? Sukshmatva. First of all, there is sukshmatva taratamya, gradual increment in sukshmatva. From Prithvi, sukshmatva increases when you come to water. From water, if you go to jala, if you go to agni, sukshmatva increases further. So there is sukshmatva taratamya. As the number of qualities reduce, the perceivability reduces. And as the perceivability reduces, sukshmatva also increases. Sthulatva reduces, sukshmatva increases. So sukshmatva has taratamya. And with the increase in sukshmatva, mahatva also increases. Mahatva means pervasiveness. The more sukshma it is, more pervasive it is. Jala is sukshma compared to Prithvi. Therefore, jala is more pervasive. Wherever there is Prithvi, there is jala. Yatra yatra Prithvi, tatra tatra jalam. Because jala is the karana of Prithvi. The karana is there in its karya. So, in Prithvi, jala should be there. Though it is not visible, is there as its karana. But yatra yatra jalam, tatra tatra Prithvi, not necessary. Where there is jala, Prithvi need not be there. Therefore, jala is mahat compared to Prithvi, more pervasive compared to earth, being its karana. Therefore, mahatva taratamya, there is increasing order of mahatva, gradual ascendance of mahatva, and vishuddhatva taratamya. Each subsequent one is more vishuddha. Shuddha. Here Shuddha is generally translated as pure. But what is pure? Anything that is not contaminated by another substance is called pure. Pure water, what does it mean? It should not have any other substance. If it has any other substance, whether salt or sugar, it is not called pure water. Therefore, purity is nothing but homogeneity. The more homogeneous an object, a substance is, the more pure it is. So, Vishuddhatva means homogeneity. It is not contaminated by other substances. not heterogeneous. Prithvi is more heterogeneous compared to apaha, jalam. That is why in the land you find varieties, more varieties. Some land is desert. Some kind of soils are very, what do you call, rocky. They are full of rocks in some place. Red soil, black soil, yellow soil, varieties of soils. And sand, some places are desert, some places are fertile for a particular type of crop. So you find varieties. So it is more heterogeneous. Whereas in jala, it is relatively more homogeneous. Then Vayu, Agni. Agni is even more Vishuddha. And Vayu is even more Vishuddha. And Akasha is even more Vishuddha. Therefore, there is Vishuddhatva Taratamya. And with Vishuddhatva, there is Nityatva Taratamya also. The more Vishuddha, the more Nitya it is. Nitya. More permanent. Adi, etc. There are many other such gunas which keep increasing as the Sukshmatva increases, as the number of gunas reduce. Drashtam, it is seen. This is known by our senses, as well as it can be known through anumana. Therefore, drashtam, yavad akasham, up to akasha. Iti, because of this reason, as the reduction in gunas lead to increase in sukshmatva, etc. Te gandhadayah sarve eva. Gandhadayah, gandha, etc. Sarve eva, all of them. Sthulattvadi karanaha, which are responsible for sthulatva, etc. Sthulattvadi karanaha, gandha, gandhadayah shabdantaha. Starting from gandha up to shabda, all the attributes which are responsible for sthulatva, etc. Sthulatva, amahatva, less pervasiveness, anityatva, etc. Yatra na santi, where none of these attributes are present. Shabdadayah sparshantaha yatra na santi. Kimutasya sukshmatvadi niratishayatvam vaktavyam. It's a sukshmatvadi niratishayatva. In terms of sukshmatva, etc., it is niratishaya, unsurpassable, most sukshma. Sukshmatva, etc., exist in its greatest extent, to its fullest extent, in Brahman, which is free from all attributes. Kimutasya sukshmatvadi niratishayatvam vaktavyam. It is unsurpassable, in terms of Sukshmatva, etc. Kimu Vaktavyam? Should it be separately said? It need not be stated separately because it is obvious, very much evident. If it is free from gunas, it has to be supreme in terms of Sukshmatva, etc. Therefore, kimu Vaktavyam? Should it be told? Ityetad darshayati Shrutihi. This is being shown. Shrutihi darshayati. Shruti shows this fact by negating all gunas in the Atma, in the Brahman. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam, tatha arasam, nityamagandhavachayat, etad vyakhyatam brahma avyayam. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam, tatha arasam nityam agandhavachayat. Etad vyakhyatam brahma. The Brahman who is described already, whose attributes are already described. Etad vyakhyatam. So Ashabdam ityadi is already commented on. It need not be mentioned separately. Brahma, this Brahman, avyayam. Only for avyayam Bhashyakara explains. So Ashabdam ityadi is already explained in the Sambandha itself. Shabdadayaha sarve gunaha na santi. Gandhadayaha shabdantaha sarve gunaha na santi. It is the Vyakhyana of Ashabdam ityadi. That is why Bhashyakara says etad vyakhyatam. Ashabdam ityadi is already explained. And the Brahman is avyayam. He takes up avyayam for vyakhyanam. Ashabdam ityadi he does not explain again. Only avyayam he takes up. And for avyayam we can make an anumana. Ashabdam asparsham ityadi. The negation of 5 gunas is hetu for Brahman being avyaya. We can take Ashabdadimatvam. Brahman is free from Shabda ityadi. This can be made a hetu for Brahman being avyaya. Avyaya means free from changes. Brahman does not undergo any change. What is the hetu? Hetu is Ashabdadimat. Shabdadi rahitatvat. Since Brahman has no Shabda etc. Or you can put it as Nirgunatvat. Brahma avyayam nirgunatvat. Now, for an anumana, you should have a vyapti. What is the vyapti? Yatra yatra nirgunatvam, tatra tatra avyayatvam. Where there is nirgunatva, there is avyayatva. Yatra yatra nirgunatvam tatra tatra avyayatvam. This vyapti should be there. Because anumana is based on vyapti, a relation of invariable concomitance. Like yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vanhi. Wherever there is smoke, there is fire. And based on that you say parvato vanhiman dhumat. In this mountain there is fire because there is smoke. This can be known only when you know the vyapti, an invariable relation between smoke and fire. Likewise, we should know the relation between yatra yatra nirgunatvam, tatra tatra avyayatvam. But the problem is, you don't have any other place to verify this. Have you seen any other nirguna where you can say avyaya is there, avyayatvam is there? There is no other nirguna. Therefore, an anvaya vyapti cannot be established because there is no drishtanta. There is no anvaya drishtanta. Therefore, we have to rely on vyatireka drishtanta. Yatra 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 vyayaha or vyayavatvam tatra tatra nirgunatva abhavaha or sagunatvam. In other words, yatra yatra avyayatva abhavaha tatra tatra nirgunatva abhavaha. Wherever avyayatva is absent, nirgunatva also is absent. For that we have enough examples. Everything in the world can be example. Yatha ghataha. Yatra yatra avyayatva bhavaha tatra tatra nirgunatva bhavaha. And based on this we can arrive at an anvaya vyapti. If yatireka vyapti is established, anvaya vyapti can be arrived at. Therefore, yatra yatra nirgunatvam tatra tatra avyayatvam. This should be correct. And therefore, Brahma avyayam nirgunatvat vyatirekena ghatavat. Unlike a pot, you cannot give yatha something. It's not possible. And anvaya drishtanta is not possible. You can give only a vyatireka drishtanta. So such inferences, such anumana is called kevala vyatireki anumana. Kevala vyatireki anumana. Only vyatireka drishtanta is there. Yadhi shabdadimat tadvyeti idantu shabdadimat ashabdadimatvat avyayam namyeti nakshiyate ataeva cha nityam यद्धिव्येति तदनित्यम् इदन्तु न व्येति अतो नित्यम् यद्धि शब्दादिमत anything that has shabda etc means yatra yatra nirgunatva abhavaha tad vyeti it undergoes changes means tatra tatra avyayatva bhavaha. See, he has given vyatireka vyapti. Idantu idam brahma tu unlike any other substance ashabdadimatvat since it has no shabda etc ashabdadimatvat means nirgunatvat avyayam it is avyaya. Avyaya means navyeti, does not undergo change, and since it does not undergo any change, na kshiyate, it does not perish, no kshaya. Avyayatvat akshayah. Ata eva cha nityam, therefore nityam. If it does not undergo destruction, it has to be nityam, eternal. Yadhivyeti tadanityam. And even for nityatva, he gives a vyatireka vyapti. Yadhivyeti tadanityam. Anything that undergoes change is anitya, impermanent. Idantu navyeti. This does not undergo change. Ataha nityam. Therefore nityam. So here also anumana. Brahma nityam avyayatvat vyatirekena ghatavat. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.